Here we are going to discuss the overall picture of the driving test. The driving test is comprised of 6 stages. You will see the specifics of each of the stages later on different slide illustrations. As you know, the focus of the I-PASS driving test is to teach you what examiners look for at each and every stage. One very important key to your driving test success is how to deal with your examiner. This is quite critical, and I have seen so many people fail their road test, not because of their driving skills, but the lack of proper management dealing with examiner. What I mean is they cannot control their nerves. They see the examiner kind of mean looking or grumpy, and they just feel he will be tough and will fail them. Managing and controlling your nerves is very vital to your concentration, and yes, it is tough when a stranger is sitting next to you. The start of your driving test is very important. You want to have a good start. You have to send a message to the examiner that you have prepared and ready for this drive. Use the SVE technique, which is see, verify, and execute, so that you are in control of your test. You need to be observing and making safe, proper decisions. In all of the stages, a positive mindset is a bonus to bring with you. You need to know what the examiner will be looking for at every street and intersection. This is your observation. Always have to look for signs and potential hazards. Must be glancing at your speedometer. Very, very important. Also, signaling and shoulder checking anytime you move from one lane to another. Parking. The parking stage is important. You have to practice parking challenges. What parking skills will you be asked to do? Every jurisdiction is different. Every state, province is different. Make sure to research if you will be required to perform a parallel park or a backing up maneuver or hill parking or 3-point turn. Remember, the last stage of your road test is very important too. I have seen many people fail towards the end of the test. This is mainly because they lose concentration. You have to hold tight until the end. Regardless of your performance, all the way from the start to the driving out, to doing the parking, doing the driving back, all are fine. Don't think of the results. You don't know if you passed or failed. When examiner writes down something, does not mean you failed. You are allowed to make some mistakes and still pass the test. Just remember to continue focusing and keep using the SVE technique until you parked your vehicle at the test center, until you finish your test. Now enjoy the following animation slides.
The 6 stages of driving test. Let's discuss the first stage, meeting the examiner. If your examiner happened to be friendly or grumpy, it doesn't matter. Don't prejudge them. Fear of examiners is the biggest reason why people fail their road test. Every examiner has different personality. Some like to talk and smile, and others don't. What you need to bring with you is a positive mindset and a good preparation. Examiners know that you will be nervous. This is natural. Calm down and don't let the nerves control you. Relax and appear confident when meeting the examiner. You've prepared for the test, and yes, you are ready. Be positive and don't think about the way the examiner looks. They are professionals and will not be there just to fail you. Remember, a mean and grumpy-looking examiner does not mean he or she will mark you unfairly and fail you. And a friendly examiner does not mean he or she will mark you easily and pass you. Don't take it personally, whichever form they appear to you. It is all up to your driving skill and the performance you're going to show the examiner. The start of the test. The start of anything is tough. You are nervous and anxious at the same time. Now you have someone sitting next to you. Well, watch your driving. Yes, it feels intimidating, but just be positive. The examiner wants to see if you know what you are doing. And yes, you've prepared and ready to perform. A good start is what you want. After adjusting your seat and mirrors, be ready to identify maybe 2 instruments of the control panel. They will ask that. Then make a 360-degree circular check before backing up. Back up slowly and steer gently. This is your time to perform. Show that you are a safe driver. Sit upright and tilt your head. Let your examiner see that. But don't exaggerate. No need to exaggerate. But make sure you show that you are looking and observing. They know if you exaggerate. Examiners look for 1. Observation. You're looking to the rear when backing up. 2. Confidence. You know what you are doing. 3. Keep in the correct side of the lot. 4. Scan for pedestrians and backing up vehicles. 5. Stop before exiting parking lot. 6. Don't climb the sidewalk curb on your exit. The examiner will be observing those skills. Lean forward as you are scanning and make your head turn visibly so the examiner could see. Check your mirrors. Tilt your head. Be alert and show the examiner that you are a safe driver and on the look for potential hazards. Since you are still driving inside the parking lot, drive a little slowly. Your body performance and a show of confidence are very important in a driving test. Driving out. By now, you left the DMV parking area. Now heading out to the road. This stage can be frightening because you don't know what driving situation, challenges you may encounter. Your examiner will observe how well you're driving and paying attention. Here are some examples. Your right and left turns. Your lane change. Are you observing those potential hazards ahead? What's the speed limit of the street you're driving on? Are you glancing at mirrors and doing head turns? Are you stopping behind the line? Are the lights ahead going to change to yellow, red? Are you going to make a full stop on red arrow before making a right turn? Are you indicating and shoulder checking when moving to another unmarked lane? Are you paying attention ahead, such as lane narrowing, or a bicycle or a city bus ahead of you, or a pedestrian to cross the street, or an emergency vehicle approaching? What would you do if a school bus stops with its red lights flashing? In all these, what action would you take? Now let's discuss the 4th stage, parking skills. Please note, parking maneuvers can be the first thing you'll be tested on. You may perform a parallel park at the DMV testing center. This depends on the jurisdiction you live in. Parking skills can be performed in any stage of the drive test, either at the start or towards the end or at the middle of the test, all depending on the examiner and the test center of your area. What parking skills would you perform? This depends on your jurisdiction, your area. Some jurisdictions test hill parking and parallel parking. In other states or provinces, you will be required to perform a 2- or 3-point turn maneuver or a reversing maneuver. You need to research what park skill maneuver you'd be tested. Well, now let's look what the examiner would be looking for. Here are what you want to pay attention to. A. Do a 360-degree circular check before the start. B. Back up or pull to the curb slowly, but not too slow though. C. Do it safely. D. Show confidence. E. Do it within the allotted distance from the curb. F. Use inside and outside mirrors. You can lower the right side mirror to see the curb. Make sure you adjust it back to its former position before leaving. G. Shoulder checks. Physically look to the rear and to each side. H. Steer properly. I. And when you pull out, make sure you look back if you backed up And don't forget to indicate and shoulder check. If, as per your examiner, you are not showing or doing any of the above, you'll be deducted points. Don't worry about the deductions. Just concentrate and complete the parking skills. Always remember, your driving and parking skills are all about performance. The parking does not have to be a perfect one. However, just perform according to what they're looking for. You are allowed to correct the maneuver and adjust the parking. And you are allowed few tries before you can fail. Research your area. How many tries allowed? Now let's discuss the 5th stage, driving back. This stage is exciting because you have finished half or more than half of the driving already. Now you're either thinking of A, I think I have done good and am passing this test, or B, I think I've failed this test already. If your mind is on A, you are passing the test, yes, you better keep on that positive thinking and keep focusing. If B, then not good if you felt like you failed the test. You cannot tell if you failed or passed the test unless you've violated a major violation or your driving skills are not good enough for the driving test. Other than that, it is only the examiner who knows if you failed or passed. On your driving back, please don't assume the results yet. Just focus on the traffic lights ahead, the small residential street with cars parked on both sides, the corner that's coming, the yield sign ahead, stopping at stop signs, pedestrians to cross at crosswalk, unmarked roadway, shoulder check, and indicate when moving to another unmarked lane. Remember, the driving test is about performance. The 6th and final stage of the driving test, the finish line. You have to pay a lot of attention to the final stage. As former examiners, we've always experienced seeing applicants fail their road test painfully at the last moment. This happens when drivers are in a hurry to finish the test, and they let their nerves get the best of them. Remember that many errors you might have done may not have added up to a fail. All is up to the examiner. You don't know if you passed or failed. Therefore, hold tight and concentrate. Stay focused as you enter the parking lot and drive slowly and in the proper side. Keep watching for pedestrians walking in the lot and for cars that are reversing out or about to back up. It is essential that you maintain calm from the start of the exam to the finish line. Always remember that the road test is not over until you park your car inside the parking lot of the testing center. Our sincerest advice to you is that you not think about the results, especially during the finish line. The examiner will tell you where to park. Pull into the slot safely and slowly. Now you have completed the driving test. Your examiner will go over the results and give you a feedback.